Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, yes, I am camping again. This time we're at Tiny Village Bon Echo, and it's absolutely amazing here. I'll drop a link to it in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. Now, if you're wondering what the little dangly bit is on my hat here, it is a dragonfly, a decoy dragonfly. It's the shoulder of fly season right now. The flies are biting. And the dragonfly does an amazing job at keeping them away. Flies are visual hunters, and the dragonfly is an apex predator. It doesn't do anything about the mosquitoes, but at the same time, the mosquitoes don't take near as big of chunks out of you as the flies do. So yeah, we're at the beginning of July. The flies are bad, the mosquitoes are bad, the bugs in general are just bad, but that shouldn't stop you from camping. Anyways, we'll start out by talking about PlayStation 2 emulation with PCSX2. And PCSX2 has just released version 2.0 stable. This is a massive upgrade over version 1.6, which was the previous stable. Now, it is worth pointing out, if you are using PCSX2 nightly, which I do recommend because you get the latest and greatest updates, upgrading to stable version 2.0, you're probably not going to notice a whole bunch of difference. But if you are on version 1.6, upgrading to version 2.0, you're going to notice a world of different changes. The PCSX2 team also has a real good write-up, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. A lot of effort went into creating it. It is extremely detailed, goes over absolutely all of the big changes about the emulator, and even includes some technical stuff in a very easy to understand format. So if you are coming from version 1.6, version 2.0 of PCSX2 is going to look completely different and perform way better. I'm not joking with you here. Version 1.6 of PCSX2 was pretty good, but version 2.0 is at a completely different level. They do have per game settings, they've got automatic game settings, and performance is at an all-time high. Now, I should clarify that in terms of automatic game settings, I'm talking about automatic game fixes. So for example, in PCSX2 version 1.6, you had to apply certain fixes to certain games in order to get them to work. With PCSX2 version 2.0, that should be completely automatic. However, there is the per game settings, so you can still play around with stuff if you want. Also, if you're headed from version 1.6 to 2.0, the menu is going to look a lot better. It's going to be a lot simpler to use and perform better. There's now texture replacements. However, for texture pack creators, there are some textures that can't be replaced, and that's just due to the nature of how PCSX2 works. But at the same time here, the majority of the textures should be absolutely fine. So if you are curious about PCSX2 and wanted to learn more about it, I do recommend checking it out. And to the developers of PCSX2, massive hat tip to you. I mean, PCSX2 was already pretty awesome, and you've made it even more awesome. It's incredible. It's an amazing PS2 emulator, and compatibility is at an all-time high. I'm very curious to see where it goes next. Next up, we're talking about PlayStation 4 emulation with ShadPS4. Now, I might have missed this one. I might be late to the party on this one, so I'll keep it quick. We were very excited about ShadPS4 booting Bloodborne, and then getting fixes for booting Bloodborne. And apparently here in the whole process, I think I did miss this one, it's also booting and playing Turok. So in terms of overall development status for PS4 emulators out there, because there are a few of them, I think ShadPS4 is currently in the lead. Next up, I hope you're able to hear me on this one. I don't know, I'm gonna have to review the audio after and might have to re-record this one. We're talking about 8BitDo, and 8BitDo is having a massive anniversary special. Special might not be the right word for it. Celebration is the right word for it. They're coming out with a couple of very interesting controllers, a gold one and a silver one, and they're priced very high. So specifically here, for both versions of the controller, gold and silver, it's the 8BitDo SN30 Pro, and it is wired, but the controllers look gorgeous. Let me know your thoughts about them. Is $100 worth it to you for one of these? And on top of that, they're also having a very interesting 11th anniversary mystery box sale where you can pick up a mystery box and it'll have some very interesting things in it, things that are a mystery. So basically, the mystery boxes contain 4 to 6 items of their respective pools, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below so you can see the pools yourself. And let me know your thoughts as to whether or not you think a mystery box is worth it. Moving on, and I've got another quick one here for you, and hopefully the audio is a little bit better now that I'm away from the rapids. Anyways, we're talking about Steam and Classic Marathon 2. And Classic Marathon 2 is now 100% free on Steam. I'll drop a link to it in the description below, and I do recommend adding it to your library. And speaking about free games, next up we're talking about Floppy Nights. Now this is free on Epic for a limited time here, and it's a card-based strategy RPG kind of game. It does look pretty interesting, and it is free until I think July 18th. Might be worth checking out, might not be. If you've got Epic Games, might as well pick it up. Floppy Nights was released back in 2022. It's got a 4.2 star rating, and it does seem to be pretty charming. If you've played it, let me know in the comments below. And I apologize, I'm getting a little bit out of breath here. It's been a big walk. And last up here, we're talking about a new game that was just announced, and that's the Karate Kid Street Rumble. This game looks, in my opinion, pretty interesting. I like the pixel style graphics. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Scott Pilgrim, and that's just a little bit. It's releasing on September 20th. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I'll drop a link to the trailer in the description below. The Karate Kid Street Rumble will be releasing for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC, and Game Mill is the studio behind this one, and they're known for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Oh, and a bonus piece of news here. Speaking about game studios, next up we're talking about Alderaan, and Alderaan has made a very big claim against Intel, stating that Intel is selling defective 13th and 14th gen CPUs with a failure rate of 100%. Alderaan Games said the initial testing for these CPUs went well, and then everything went south. Now, Intel apparently or reportedly is working on a fix for this, but their fix is reportedly not the fix that is affecting these CPUs. I'll drop a link to the article in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out, especially if you've got a 13th or 14th gen Intel CPU, or if you're thinking about picking one up. Now, if you do have one, I recommend keeping the box, keeping the receipt, just in the event that you have a warranty claim. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.